Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love. This is Sister Nzinga from Flowing and Growing with Sister Nzinga. This is my YouTube channel where I work on sharing information that will help us to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. For none but ourselves can free our minds. Those are the famous words of the Honorable Robert Nesta Marley. Today, I just want to say thank you for everybody who has continued to watch. It's been almost a year now, so I started this in January, and we're here in October, so it's been a good. So just thank everybody for keeping it alive, for helping me keep it alive, and those that are sharing, caring, commenting, and continue to comment more. Let me know about things that how you feel about the videos. If you think whatever you think, I'm willing to accept comments that's maybe not be positive, but as long as they're respectful, I'm good with that. So yeah, continue to share, care, and comment and subscribe, okay? And along with subscribe and push the notification button, that'll let us know that every time when I do a video, that boom, here Sister Zing will put up another one. But no, it's every Tuesday. So all right, so here we go. So, most of the time I'm talking about, the society, what they've done to us, and us, we need to pay attention to these type of things that's happening to us, and they don't care about us, and, about we need to spend our money, and so forth and so on. But now I'm really going to talk about the real solution. And the real solution is us, the man in the mirror, each individual, it's really up to us to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. Because, like I said, he said, well, these ain't my words, by Marty's words, he says, none but ourselves can free our minds. So it's up to us. So we're going to talk about the self and what the self can do to help the self emancipate themselves from mental slavery. Okay? And the first thing we have to do is first to realize that you are enslaved. And it's like insulting to say, oh my, I ain't in no slavery. I ain't no. But the reality is it is. Because we have to understand that the people that put us in a situation are the same people that we go to try to get us out of it. No, we can't do that. If they put us in the situation, do you think that they're actually going to be willing to get us out of it? That's not their plan. And we do need to understand that they do have a plan. And they have a long foreseeable plan. They didn't know but they know what's going to happen way down the line. That's why when these certain shows get leaked out and they talk about the Simpsons will predict this. Because somebody know that somewhere down the line this is what's going to happen. And because the plan is written, there's already a plan in place about what's going on in the society, how it'll be handled, when it's going to handle, so forth like that. So that's why these TV shows and different things are able to, they make it look like it's just a coincidence. Ain't no coincidence because somebody told somebody, and they put it out. And they, like I said, most of the time with the Simpsons, they may show it like 2 years ahead and say this is going to happen. But somebody didn't, like I said, so they know the plan's already written. And sometimes they show a lot of stuff in the movies that we see, the TV shows and stuff. But I don't watch a lot of TV, but I catch a little movie here on Netflix here and there, and I'd be like, wow, look at this. This is some serious shit. So okay, so back to the man in the mirror, man and woman in the mirror. We have to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. We have to start making better choices and understanding that we are in a society that doesn't care for us. Now, at this point in the world, we have got to know that there is something going wrong here, and do understand that you cannot heal yourself if you don't realize that you're hurting. So yes, we're comfortable, we live in nice houses, we drive fancy cars, we have name brand purses and shoes and glasses and this and that and that and that, but those are material things. We need to look at the hard structural things. What about our educations? What about our supermarkets, the people that provide foods? What about these little nasty stores in our neighborhood that they allow these people to bring this stuff to our neighborhood? What about, the medical care? Things like that. We have to start looking at the structural things. What about when we go to the bank and sometimes the bank will not give you money, or if they do give you some money to build up yourself, it's at a high interest rate. What about when you want to live in a certain place and some of the real estate agents will say, oh, no, there's nothing available there, or they won't even show you these certain areas. And what about that, client's call, sorry. What about the areas that when you want to get, this is a real example somebody did. They had their house appraised. And so the man came in, of course, it was a black person. They appraised their home, and they gave him a certain what's the name. Then they called another appraiser, and they had a white person to be there, their friend, and so-called friend, well, was a friend, they had that person to be there and act like it was their home, and then they gave them a price on their appraisal. Do you see this reality of these things that's going on in our world? These things are real. Okay, so these are things that we must understand. That yes, you got a good job, you can, you got to go home with those material things, but the things that have value and the things that can help you along your way, those things are still being declined to us, or being, they lie about the truth of certain situations. So the most important thing is that we have to think about our money. Where do we spend our money? And do we take our money to continue to buy material things to make us think that, that we have value because we wear certain brand names, or we drive a certain this or that those kind of things help us to be a better person? It does not. It does not. So it's very important that we take our monies and put our monies towards something that which is our own ideas, and we do invest in things that's going to leave a legacy for our children. We have got to start thinking about the future. It's not about us right now and me living my life, me having what I want. There has to be a legacy for our children, and for our names, even though these ain't our names. That's another conversation. But to be able to carry on the legacy of your family. So these are things that are important. It's so important that we don't spend our money so frivolously. In the news, they just tell you that we are the biggest consumers. They make more money off us than they do any other race of people, because we're so easy to convince that you got to have this, you got to have that, and that's what happens. And so that's the first thing, that you yourself have to start thinking about saving your money. I'm telling you, I shop at Goodwill. I admit to everybody, I shop at Goodwill. Because if it's a certain little something that I need, a little utensil, a little table, or some curtains, a rug, or something like that, I go there first, because they have new items. In addition to the fact they have lightly used items, and I ain't got no problem with it. If I find a really nice rug that I need, I found a Goodwill, and it's like it was used, but it's still it's still in good condition. I ain't got no problem with buying that. So I would go and buy that particular thing, and maybe may spend I don't know what I would spend for it, but I know if I went to the store that I would be saving myself at least $20, $30, $40. That $40 matters. So is this important to say, oh, I bought it from Macy's versus I bought it from Goodwill? Who the hell got to know where you buy it from? You just put it in your house, and your house looks nice, and boom, boom, boom. I mean, so we have got to think about buying used items. And then people talk about, well, I don't want to buy nothing used like that because, I think I got a nice dish set from there. But do you know that when you go to a restaurant, those dishes are used? The glasses are used, the forks are used, everything is used. And again, you have the ability yourself to take these things home, clean them good, sterilize them or whatever, and then you reuse them again. It doesn't matter. We're hung up on other people's ideas trying to tell us, because, we need to realize that rich people, they don't spend a lot of money on things. That's why they spend money on land, businesses and things like that. So we don't need to spend a lot of money on material things. We don't need to have that. And then, ladies, and I'm just saying this because I used to be the same way. We don't need 18 pocketbooks and 50 pair of shoes. We really don't. We don't. And I used to change my jewelry and my necklaces and, my necklace and earring sets, with every little outfit. But how that woman used to say, ain't nobody got no time for that. It's not that important to me. I wear the same necklace. Every time you see me do this video, here's what I wear. I do wear a couple of them more sometimes when the weather's not so warm. I do change my earrings. I mean, but, do you? But it doesn't have to be so much where you just have so much stuff. Like, what you gonna do with that stuff? It's okay to have this stuff. Okay, let me just say this. If you got your business, other things in line, if you own your own house, you know what I'm saying? If you own some land, you're handling your own business. You got insurance or either insurance for your children. You got a school. If you want your kids to go to college, you got a little savings plan for the children to go to college. If you got all those things in order, then I ain't talking to you. But if you're somebody who ain't got a pot to piss in, but when you step out on the street, you're looking just as bad as you want to be, I'm talking to you. These material things really don't make you. And all people are going to do is talk about you, especially the people that know you. They could just say that, well, honey child was such go outside, I seen her, she was dressed like this, but honey child, when I went to her house, so. People rude today. Children's rude with the comments they make, all the way down to the adults who are rude, who will just talk about you and don't have the nerve to tell you to your face. So I'm just saying, so that's the main thing, is to be able to be mindful of how we spend our monies. The next thing is that we have to be mindful of the food that we put in our mouth. We know that back in the day it called soul food with chitlins, fried chicken, blah blah blah, onto the watermelon, thing, but they gave us that kind of stuff. But nowadays we do know when you go to a supermarket, it's only a small section that has the fruits and vegetables, and all the rest of it is processed food. And then they came up with this microwave, making us lazy. We used to cook our own food, but now you just pop it in there in the microwave and warm it up a couple of minutes, and it's done. And you eat it. Do you know that stuff is so toxic? It just don't make no sense. And they count on you to eat this garbage. But going back to just the soul food thing, that's what they call soul food. But then we don't have to agree with that. You can call soul food, but you don't have to eat it. The barbecue ribs and that kind of stuff. That stuff is not good for us as a people, because it makes us sick. It makes us have high blood pressure. It makes us have diabetes. It makes us obese. Tastes good as hell. I admit it. I'm telling you, I don't eat that thing. I don't eat meat and all that kind of stuff no more. But I'm telling you, when I did eat chitlins, I used to tear them up. But then I grew up and I knew that chitlins wasn't good for me. And regardless of the fact that they taste good, I'm not going to eat it because I care about this here. I care about all this here. I got to take care of all this here. And so that's more important than the taste of a food. That's more important. How much you love yourself. But the food that we put into our bodies, this instant food, the fast food, and then they tell you that McDonald's used to serve horse meat. They told you that, but you continue to eat it. So now, you don't know what you're eating with that burger. Then they tell you how Chinese people, they used to eat cats. So there was cat legs instead of chicken that they would give you. They told you, but you're still gonna go Chinese food and eat Chinese food. I don't trust none of them. I refuse to eat there. I just eat me an apple, orange, banana, some vegetables, and be happy with that. And just be creative with your foods that you eat. So that's the next thing, because this society is guaranteeing that you're going to get sick. Guaranteed that you're going to get sick. That you are going to eat these foods, consume these things, and they know by the time you get a certain age, you're going to have high blood pressure. Some of this, it may happen to your kidneys. They got so many dialysis places around the places now that it don't make no sense. And now haven't you noticed that everything popping up there? There's not even enough hospital care to be able to take care of all the sickness that we have. So we got it, One Express or the Express Medical, blah blah blah, First Stop Medical, all these different places that are popping up now where you don't have to go to the doctor. You just go to these, to the hospital or something. You just go to these places, and they'll diagnose what you have and ready to give you some medicine. I mean, that don't click a light in your head and say like, what the hell is this? Why these things all start popping up? Because they've guaranteed that you're going to be sick because they know what they're feeding you. They know what's in the water. They know what's in toothpaste. They know what's in all the foods, the canned foods, that this stuff is toxic. And over time, again, you could taste it, you could eat it, everything going to be okay. But over time, you're going to get sick. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So I'm just saying, so the choice is yours. So we got to be mindful of our money. We have to be mindful of our health. They say if you can, what's the little saying that I forgot what it's about. About taking care of your health now or later. You'll be taking care of take care of your health now, or later on you'll be something. But anyway, moving on. I can't think what that little particular verbiage is. So we have to be mindful of that. And then the next thing is that our children, if we have children, we have to really understand that the people who have brought us here in bondage, the people who continue to discriminate against us, the people who continue to kill our black men, the people who continue to just do things to us and get away with it, are the same people or the ancestors or the families of these same people. So just like in your family, certain things are passed down. In their family, certain things is passed down. So that attitude towards blacks is passed down, even though slavery was many, many years ago. But the people who have come after them, they've been taught, this stuff has been passed down in their families. Because you see how there's people who just really, 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 I just don't understand how you just hate the person just because of the color of their skin. You see how this new thing coming up called Karens. They making joke of that shit, but that shit's real. That's fucked up. Excuse me, but when somebody could just grab you and say something to you, like this one video I saw, I was so frustrated, and I was like saying, see, we need to have a system in place where we take care of our own stuff. Somebody they knew who the man was, and they were talking about they're trying to get the police involved, but the police was saying they couldn't justify nothing, locked this boy up. This man had found a little young boy, had him on, had his hand like this here on his neck like this. It was holding him there while he's on the phone calling the police. Well, I got somebody. He was calling them because 2 days ago, not that moment right there. So that little boy was not guilty at all. 2 days ago, some other little boys riding on bikes stole his neighbor's bike, and so he just grabbed that little black boy and was doing that to him. So, I mean, just saying, y'all, we have got to be really mindful of the reality of the things we're in. So, anyway, the point I was trying to make was that when it comes to our children, that we have to be mindful of when we go to the doctor says you're supposed to get this shot, get this shot. We really have got to find out what's in these shots. They can tell you, but if you really don't need it, there's ways that so many children have gone through schools and they haven't had the shots. So it is possible that your child can do that. If you just feed your child the right foods, healthy foods and so forth, your child going to be okay. He's not going to catch none of these diseases that they keep saying that we're going to have. They don't know what they're doing to our children. And then the fact is that there's so many children that have come up with having autism and different little things happen to them because of they taking these shots, because we really don't know what they're sticking in our children's arms. And we cannot trust them. We couldn't trust them back then. We didn't know about it. But now today that we know, we cannot trust them with our children. They don't need to get all them shots that they tell you that the children need to have. Because some of those shots is giving our children the reaction of our bodies. And our DNA is different from other people's. That, there's reactions that could make something bad for your kids. And then they're not responsible for it. If your kid has autism for the rest of his life, your kid just has autism for the rest of his life and they don't give a damn. That's something you're going to have to deal with. You have to deal with all the medical care that you're going to need. You got to deal with, having to pay somebody to be extra care while you work and blah, blah, blah. Because that child's not going to be able to go through like a regular school system, go to school. So we have to be mindful of who we're trusting with our children. And we know this, let alone, oh my gosh, all the sexual things that they're doing to our children. But there was a lady I just saw recently on YouTube where this lady, she had a 3-year-old son. And so she had noticed her son would having like marks on his body, whatever. And so she goes to question. So she asked, can she had to go through a lot to get the video from the place. But when she got it, she realized these white people who was taking care of her kids, they were pushing her son and hitting on him and all this kind of stuff. They was really abusing her child. And not the thing about it, not just her child. They were abusing a lot of children in there. So it's crazy how today you got to really, really be mindful, be up on what's really going on in your little cipher, in your life. Because you cannot just simply just go as we used to go and just trust people to do the right thing. It's just as simple. So we have got to make choices about what we do and where we go, what we eat, and we got to make choices about the things that we watch. So energy is real. Energy is real. So when it comes to like listening to certain music, watching TV, letting our children watch these video games where it's fight, fight, fight. We watch these movies on TV with fighting and killing and everything. They have this stuff on here like this is normal. That's why these kids can go here and just, be 14, 11 years old and go here, beat on people or go and shoot somebody and feel no way. Because, sometimes they're not catching these children with these things that they're doing, but they just go through their life here. Last night they killed somebody, and now you just went to school the next day like nothing ever happened. Like, why? How can you justify that? And like I said, energy is real. So the low vibration that comes along with some of the music that is out here today, the low vibration of these movies where they normalize killing people and stabbing people, that kind of stuff, that's a low vibration. We should not be operating on a low vibration. That's not who we are. That's not where we came from. Our ancestors come from, and that's not who we are as individuals. Because it's just not nature. That's not who we are as a people. I mean, I just want to talk about the things that you can do, that we can do to change ourselves. This is the kind of things that helped me. I just had to make choices, and it wasn't popular. My family thought I was crazy. They still do. And, they would give me, think that I was cheap because I wouldn't spend my money on, on certain things. I'll give you an example this one time. Well, let me finish my point, though. So we have to be mindful of the things we do about the energy and just make sure that we are making good decisions about the things that we involve ourselves in. And I just wanted to, I do want to make this comment. One time, I have some family and friends who were taking a trip to Jamaica per se, and well, it was Jamaica, and it was at this little fancy hotel, all inclusive and blah blah blah. It was cost about like $3,000. I said, okay, no, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that because first of all, I don't eat like that, and I don't drink like that. So I couldn't see justifying $100 and something per day for the all inclusive. So I said, I'll be there for your party, for your celebration, but I'm gonna do it my way. I took the same amount of money, and I think it might have been end up being a little less. I took the same amount of money, approximately, and I had a 15-day trip in Jamaica versus they had a 5-day trip at this little fancy someplace that they call fancy, and they spent all this money for that thing. I stayed in Jamaica for 15 days, and so while I was there, the day that the party was going on, I stopped by there, had my little fun time with the friends and family, and I went on and could enjoy myself for the rest of my days. But soon after they got done, they had to hit on back. So you have to think. It ain't illegal yet about what's best for you. You don't have to go along with what other people are doing. You have to make choices for yourself. That's the bottom line. To know that you are free and that you can make choices for yourself. And love up on yourself. Because, look, who else gonna love you? I mean, yeah, other people will love you, but don't nobody love you but your own self. Nobody can be you but you. So just think it ain't illegal yet. Take back your freedom. You don't have to do what everybody else does. That thing with, everybody likes this. Somebody asked me if I like going to Disney World. No, I don't. And their comment was like, everybody like going to Disney World. Okay, they might. Everybody else does, but I don't. So you're free to be able to think that thing, to think these things, and I have reasons for not liking it. And but you're free to make choices for yourself. You're free to be unique. We are all created, all different sizes, shapes, and colors. And the Spirit, the Most High ain't made no mistakes. So value your uniqueness. Value your uniqueness. So I just wanted to stop right there just to tell you that this is the thing about. Only thing we're going to have a good way we're going to get out of this. It ain't about listening to nobody else what their opinion is, and they telling you this, they showing you this, you see it's on TV and the media and blah, blah, blah. And the media, I want to talk about that, how the media is just like, ugh. So we want to get that deep. I just want to say, if it is to be, it's up to me. And I'm saying that in reference to you too. If it is to do, it's up to you. I'm changing the words around, whatever. But I'm just saying, I'm going to stop right there. But you, me, we are the beginning of that can make this thing make a change. And if we each make a change, then, there's no way that things wouldn't change up. There's two things. Michael Jackson made this song about, the man in the mirror. I'm talking to the man in the mirror. I'm asking you to change your ways, blah, blah, blah. You're going to make it. Listen to the words of that song. Listen to the words of that song. It's very, very good. Listen to the words of that song. And something else came to mind. Came to mind and left the mind really just as quick. So I'm going to stop there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for my subscribers. Thank you for listening. Thank you for liking. Please continue to like it. Leave comments. I love you guys. Peace and love.